in Canada because
a boot. Not a boot. Sorry.
Hey, welcome back to Trail Trust Garage. Not in the garage today, actually. We're doing a little review. But a couple of years ago, I went looking for a headset, and although Cardo was top of the list and Sena was great too, we just found that I had to buy two, one for me and one for my son who was getting into riding. And the the 2-packs of those headsets are quite expensive. We're talking, I think the Freecom 4 is around $200. Actually, you know what? Hold on one second. So, price of a dual pack of Cardo Bolds $614. A dual pack of Freecom 4s $630. I think that's the older version. The new version, just for one. No, 2-pack, dual pack, $436 looks like the best price on Amazon. That's on Prime. And the single pack is $232. Okay, so contrast that to this. What I'm looking at today is the SCS ETC S9. It's a mouthful, it's true. So you're looking at $125 for a single pack, and for a dual pack, we're looking at $242. Now, if you go on YouTube, you find all kinds of videos about these Chinese Bluetooth headsets. And they do unboxing videos and, you know, maybe a helmet installation video. And then they'll go, you know, and then once in a while you'll see one that says long-term review, and it's like 6 months later. It's like, well, okay. So it lasted for 6 months, but what's it gonna be like in 2 years, which is kind of what I'm gonna talk about today. So my son and I decided to go with these. The FOD Sports seem to be the most popular Bluetooth like Sena, Cardo, Interphone Bluetooth of the Chinese manufacturers. But these had a lot to offer. So their website was good. It's well laid out. The English translation was pretty good. It looked like they'd been around for a while. So. And they got pretty good reviews. The FOD Sports do too, and I think the other Lexan, something like that. Anyway, those are another big popular ones if you're looking on Amazon. So this is my GM11 helmet from G-Max. When Colin and I bought these 2 years ago, they're just an inexpensive helmet. I think we paid $109 Canadian for them on sale at Fortnite. Now they're up over $200, so it's like, that's how crazy things are going right now. But basically, this uses the base system and the clip-on. You'd think that was a jog dial, but it's not actually. It's just to make it look like a Cardo and Sena, I guess. It's just there's a button there. And I'm not going to go through all of the pairing techniques, and I'm not going to go through what all the buttons mean, because there's other videos that do that. So the videos by the company, there's other people doing unboxing videos on these that go through that. Just really quickly, I'm going to talk about some of the features on these. So you're looking at Bluetooth 4.1, and although Bluetooth 4.1 is pretty good, I find devices that use Bluetooth 5, there's a big improvement there in just everything, like how fast they repair and connect and stuff when you turn them on. It does group rider Intercom up to 4 riders. It does have voice commands, although I've never used that feature. They say a range of 500 meters, and that's another thing I liked about this, is they didn't claim like a kilometer or 2 kilometers, something like that. 500 meters sounds about right for these. Rainproof, and they are. This unit has been through. Let's take it back off here. I mean, it's been through a lot of rain, a lot of weather, a lot of cold, a lot of everything, a lot of splashes and stuff. You can kind of you can see that it's dirty. It's got crud here. The USB port has got a rubber flap over it, and that seems to keep that pretty closed. But all the buttons and stuff, everything's stayed pretty good on this. The contacts have gotten some wear and some corrosion, but not much. Like just a little bit of like a pencil eraser or a little contact cleaner will clean that. But they really haven't been. It's really held up well. The base station, again, I mean, it's dirty. I mean, this thing sees splashes of dirt. I even wrecked the XT500 one day in a swamp, and my front tire went down, and my helmet was completely underwater, and this just keeps on ticking. So we've had both of these. We had 2. Probably Jake, which you saw in the ADV on the ADV channel in the Van video. He his hasn't seen quite the amount of work that mine has seen, but it's still going. So we haven't had a problem with either one. It comes with a charge cable. It came with a hardwired mic, like the boom mic for your open face helmets. A lot of places claim that those are better than the soft mics that come, but I've never tried it. Like, this mic has been fine. The only time it's really ever let me down is at like highway speeds. And when I say highway, I don't necessarily mean going on 2-lane at 100 kilometers an hour. I'm talking about hitting the 4-lane at 120, 130. It's hard to pick out voices. Earplugs seem to help a little bit. They filter out some of the other extraneous noises, some of the wind noise, and allows you to hear this a little better. So I think actually wearing earplugs works better. And I think some reviewers have gone and go, well, you know, I can't hear it here, I can't hear it there. But I think if they wear earplugs, maybe they just don't mention it in the reviews. The only other criticism I have with this is the sound volume is not overly loud. Like, I do have to crank it up. But I found once I started wearing earplugs, I didn't have to hit max volume all the time when I'm listening to music. Even on the highway. Like, again, you're pushing 120, 130, you start to lose definition, you start to lose the bass tones, you know, that sort of thing. But, you know, honestly, that was the same way with the Cardo Pack Talk Bolts. So I used a set of those in 2019 when we did the Fun Adventure Rally. A friend of mine had bought a group pack of those, and he let me use his Pack Talk Bolt. And honestly, the volume was better. The sound quality might have been a little clearer, but at 120, I couldn't tell the difference between this one and the Pack Talk. Like, it all depends on how, you know, the turbulence off your windshield, how wind your noise. This is not a quiet helmet. It's got rattles and shakes and wind gets up around it and whatnot. It's been a challenge to find a mic for the Osmo Action or the GoPro or the old Picasso to really filter out the wind noise and get my voice at higher speeds. It's usually good up to like 80 kilometers an hour, and then after that it gets I'm shouting and the wind noise just takes too much out of it. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about these because I haven't seen very long term. And when I say long term, we're talking 2 years. Battery life is very good in these, and they will close down. If it doesn't hear anything, it goes into a low power mode. That can be annoying sometimes because you have to reconnect. It will kind of lose its connection when it does that. But it does say battery life, and the battery lasts quite a long time. Like, I've gone all day talking on that with Colin on rides and stuff. Though pairing up to itself, seamless and perfect. Pairing up to the Cardo Freecoms, I think Colin has to initiate the contact, and I think he has to do it through his app. Once he's done it, once it's paired, they work fine usually. But I don't know if I'm not pairing because I don't pair with Jake either. Like when I say pairing, I mean reconnecting. When we turn on the units and go, it automatically grabs, but I think Jake usually has to hit the talk button, I think, which is this button here. And just because I don't know how to run this thing very well. Like, I know the volume buttons and I can answer a call or I don't even know how to like deny a call, I think. Anyway, not that I get phone calls a lot when I'm running it, but Colin usually does his reconnection. And I think we worked together and we looked at the manual and we did the initial pairing. It wasn't that hard. It was pretty simple. It was easy. And they've stayed paired for literally years. Like, so last summer or the summer before last, whenever we started riding, we paired them a couple of years ago when he first got his Freecoms, because he used a Sena SMH10 before, and it kind of got a lot of weather, and finally the connection started getting a little bad. You had to wiggle it and clean it, and and it wasn't working that great. Hence the upgrade to the Freecoms. And when he first got it, we paired up, and that's been several years. I'm going to say 2 years ago at least. It might even be 3 summers ago. And we paired up with those, and every summer when we get back together and we dig the helmets out of the storage and get on it, they're still paired. Like, we don't have to repair them. Like, we just did a ride the other day, first one of the spring together, and the helmet, mine, he had to hit his thing and then it popped straight back in. So it really hasn't been a big issue. Like, if you want perfectly seamless, then I guess you gotta keep with the same brand. Like, everybody's got to buy the same darn headset. But honestly, like, it hasn't, for somebody who does like technology challenged, it's really been worry free. it just keeps working. The other one keeps working. Like it hasn't been an issue. So that's, maybe I'm lucky. Maybe I'm just lucky I got 2 really good ones. I don't know. But pairing, reconnecting, it doesn't do it automatically. There's a few of those features. The free comms don't use mesh either. And I mean, obviously the Cardo Pack Talks use their proprietary mesh. And that's really nice when somebody leaves the group and comes back in. And I guess if you're doing a tour and you run a tour company and you're putting those on everybody's helmets to keep everybody together, well, hey, that's great, you know, and you can afford that because you're obviously a business, right? But if you're looking for budget helmet comms, I've just had great luck with these. Now, I see they do have a 10 out. I'm just going to go back to this for a second. They have a 10, and this is a note on Chinese technology, and I'm not dumping on them, but here's a 10. It still uses Bluetooth 4.1. So I think it's got a camera. I think that's the difference. And it's probably not a great camera. I don't know if I really saw any reviews. So even though it's been several years old, it looks like the S9 is really probably their premier option from ETC. I see the S3 and the old S1. And if you look at these, they all look the same. Like they've copied the design off of somebody, and then they've basically, all the Chinese companies copy off each other. So if you look at this one here, and you look at these, I mean, they look very much like, you know, Cardo or Sony units. So, you know, that's Bentley, he needs to go out. So I'll wrap this up. But I noticed that the FOD Sports, the new ones, I think the FX8 uses Bluetooth 5. So if I go to replace this, I may actually upgrade to that. And I think it's going to be upgraded because most of the reviews I see, one of the biggest issues I have with this is the volume. And again, it hasn't been as big of an issue since I started wearing earplugs, which I should have done years ago. I'd still have most of my hearing, I think. But a lot of people complain about the audio volume being low on some of these Chinese sets, and the FX8 seems to have fixed that. And the Bluetooth 5 connectivity really does mean a big difference. My wireless headphones, I use the Shure S15s, and great headphones, by the way. And you can get their connection unit, or you can buy because it has doesn't have a proprietary, it's got a universal connector. You can use anybody's. You can use a wire connection or Bluetooth, and I find the Bluetooth 5 was just so much better than the Bluetooth 4.1. So one thing I will say with the Chinese companies is that there's never a clear product line, like a progression. You'll find like an older unit, like if I click on the S3, it's probably a cheaper unit. Now it still is 4.1, but sometimes you'll find like it has Bluetooth 5 or something like that, even though it's a lower unit. And it can be a little hard to navigate those. And they'll bring up like new versions, but it'll have like, instead of USB-C, it'll have like the old mini USB, whereas the previous version had USB-C. They'll do funky stuff like that, and I don't know why, but anyway, Bentley's gonna drive me nuts if I don't go let him out. And so I just wanted to quickly do that. I was kind of scrambling for a video this week, and I hear lots of people talking about unboxing videos and long-term reviews. And I just wanted to let anybody watching this know that if you can't afford a Cardo, and let's be honest, like a lot of us can't, if you're buying other things for your bike and you just need something to answer the phone, something to listen to music to, and you don't want to put you use earbuds, or you know, if you've got like your son, like me and my son, right? I had to buy 2. He was just 16, he was just getting into it, and we wanted to be able to talk, and I didn't have $500 to spend. So we bought these for $200. And as a matter of fact, I think I got them on sale for like $159, $160 for the 2-pack. They were 100 piece, but you got a kind of a break if you bought the 2-pack. So, I mean, 2-3 years later, like I even forgot how I've had them that long, and they're still both going. So, and they work great, especially around like lower speeds around town. You know, like I said, highway, if you get pounded highway to get where you got to go. When we did our Cape Breton trip a couple of years ago, we had to do a little 130 pounding to get through Inexpensive here, if you know Nova Scotia, because we had to make up a little bit of time. And yeah, you got to repeat. You know, it's sometimes it was hard for me to pick up what he was saying, but my hearing's not the best either. So he had a much easier time hearing me. So if you're in a budget, then, you know, I just want you to know that they're not garbage. right? I just see what videos people go, oh, they're great, you know, whatever. But they're not bad, right? Same with the Akaso camera. And in any case, the old adage, you get what you pay for, sometimes it's true. And I've said this in videos before. It's usually true on the upper end. Not always, but it can be true on the upper end. But it's not always true in the lower end. Sometimes you do get more than what you pay for. And I think with some of these units, they're pretty good. Like I said, the FOD Sport seems to have, and I may try that, and if I do, I'll do a review on that if I do pick up on those FX8s. But this SEC ETC, or SCS ETC S9, it's been really good, like way better than I expected with the money that I spent on it. So, without rambling too much longer, or it's already been too long, for Trail Trash reviews in and out of the garage, I'll catch you in the next video. You know we're in Canada because...
A boot! Not a boot! Sorry.